Hello, blessed souls. I am the magical medium. Welcome to my spiritual guidance channel. Today we are going to talk about love. Before you are 4 piles. We're going to start over here. To the left, we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So take a moment. Maybe one jumped out at you right away. Maybe it was the words, maybe it was the imagery. And by all means, if there's more than one pile that you're drawn to, love is love. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic love. When I was putting this together, I realized that part of our self-care mantra for 2022 is about loving ourselves. And, if you look back at most of my readings, it's mostly about the journey, personal journeys. I do, of course, relationship readings and things like that. But, some channels are just love readings. Some channels pepper in love readings. But it's never been high on my list. And then I realized today it started coming to me yesterday, this reading. And then today, when I sat with spirit and meditation, I started to understand what was going on. And I had a talk with a fellow lightworker yesterday, and I said, I feel like I don't want to really, I don't know what I'm meant to do. I feel like I'm supposed to do spirit work. I'm like, but I don't really want to tell people's fortunes or what's coming down the line. Or, I kind of feel like I just want to do what I always did before I started my channel, which was spiritual guidance, right? I'm just a medium. I'm a channel, not just but you know what I mean? I'm here to help you help yourself. And I don't know how I feel about predicting futures, so to speak, when right now I feel all that we are meant to do is concentrate on the moment at hand each day. I know that sometimes we have to plan things, right? We have to set dates for something, especially, say you're booking a venue for a wedding. You need to be able to, book that far in advance. I understand that. But in terms of our living, our relationships and day to day, with everything that's happening on the planet right now, it's really incredibly difficult to really say what's going to happen when there's such a pinball effect going on with everyone's emotions, and so many things are breaking down and then building back up in different ways. And it's just a really interesting dichotomy right now, and love is the answer through that energy. So today I was like, well, let's just get some advice. Let's get some advice from the love angels, the spirit guides who want to impart on us what love really means. So not only do we have the imagery before you, the words before you, but also Spirit would like me to share this with you. When you may have seen this already, obviously, because I haven't put it, in real time. For me, it hasn't happened yet. For you, it's already there and it's accessible. See what I mean about time? It's a slippery little sucker, isn't it? So I was listening to some music, and Dolly Parton from the Jolene album, I Will Always Love You, came on, and I just felt this pull, I couldn't, believe. And then the next song was really lovely. Wasn't paying attention to it. It's more of a melodic, meditative music. And then the third one came on, and it was Elvis, Burning Love. And I have a tie to Elvis because my father was a huge Elvis fan, and since he's crossed over, they are best buddies, just like I always knew they would be. And so I just thought it was a little wink from my dad. But then I was like, no, I heard Burning Love for pile 3. And then pile 4, Part of Your World from Little Mermaid, came on. So that's what I'm saying. It's that's how diverse these are. So when you go to choose your pile, maybe you'll be drawn to one of the songs. Maybe the song, like me, reminds me of my dad. Well, I had a broken heart with my dad. My dad and I had a very tumultuous relationship when he was alive. And now that he's gone, we have this really wonderful relationship. I told the same light worker yesterday, I said, I miss my family and friends or whatever. I'm like, but I'm not concerned about them and their living life. That's up to them. I'm like, I'm excited for when they cross over. If I'm still here in this form, I can talk to them. So, there's a lot of levels, to relationships, but at the same time, I definitely felt love relationships in there. I felt a work-related love-hate relationship in there. So, just use your intuition. Use your pendulum if you need to. Heck, you know, flip a coin if you need to. Just make sure you wash the coin really well and ask Spirit to wash away all the energy, because think of how many people that touch a coin. Think of all that energy, right? But you could just do, you know, heads, you know, yes, tails, no, however you want to do it, right, for each pile. Whatever you need to do, maybe you need to watch all of them. I don't know. Either way, I love you. Spirit loves you, and we're here to show and lend some support. I'll see you over at your pile. And if you'd like to donate to this tribe, all of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at your pile. Blessed be. Oh. Welcome, pile 1. You know, when I was initially grabbing the deck, the love card fell out. When I started shuffling the deck, the love card came out. And then when I was shuffling, and I heard to stop, the first card that came out was the love card for pile number 1. So if you chose pile number 1, I love that you chose love, right? Since we're talking about love. But in this card, if you didn't see already, I'm going to bring it a little closer. And I apologize. I use so much essential oils. They're on everything. So I started to notice, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's essential oils. Anyway, so unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. I'm starting to get this sinking feeling in my stomach. The interesting thing is the sinking feeling that I'm getting is that it's almost as if you chose this pile, be really mindful of what you are taking as your medicine and what is somebody else's medicine. Because remember that these are mass readings, right? And that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a love doctor. I'm not a, you know, like I am here to work as an intuitive and a medium to help you figure things out. But when I started reading these, what I got from Spirit right out the gate was they are all individual. They may all apply to you, but what I mean by that is I feel like it's almost as if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost like we have 6 piles in one pile. I feel like for some of you, you're struggling with unconditional love. I feel like with some of you, you're struggling with self-love, which is probably why you can't have unconditional love, right? Because if you don't love yourself, how can you possibly love anybody else, right? Like RuPaul. Yeah, I forgot but I'm paraphrasing. RuPaul says, if you don't love yourself, honey, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? And it's true. And the oneness, oh, this is very interesting. So, and if you carry it on, almost like if you're playing like the telephone game. So, right, we said that. Then the next one is oneness, because you would have self-love for yourself and unconditional love for others if you realize that we really are all the same. We are one. So it doesn't matter, you know, what that person is going through or what you're going through. It's like they may be different situations, but you're going through something. That's your commonality. And everybody on this planet is going through something. There's nobody on this planet that doesn't have any conflict ever. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There has to be conflict. It's balance. There must be light with dark. But once you regain the passion for life, because I'm also feeling like, see how the person's struggling, like their eyes are, oh, like, it's interesting because when I look down, when I look at the card, this looks like a smiley face, like, I found love, yay, I'm holding the heart. But through the lens to me, I actually saw the bangs almost, I don't have great eyesight, but I almost saw the bangs as if the eyes were like there's no eyes, right? And that this mouth, the top of the mouth was almost like a no emotion, just like a straight line, right? If you didn't, and it's kind of how I feel like with you, like you're like, well, I want love, or I need love, or I like all these things, but you're like, but how do I get it? And Spirit's saying, well, if you're searching for love, or if you're in a relationship and you feel like you've lost the love, it's because you've lost your passion. You've lost your passion for life and your passion for love. I'm getting a really strong feeling that you guys suffer from anxiety, control issues, depression, maybe all of the above. But Spirit's saying the next word is affection. So you need to give that love to yourself so that you can put it out into the world, because what's the next word? Attraction. Because once we love ourselves, once we are so absolutely happy with ourselves, things just flock to us. People, situations, money, you know, like the right thing happens, right? You know, that person that says, I just always seem to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, if you keep telling yourself that you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, then you will constantly be there. Our self-talk is so important. And I'm realizing it now more and more and more. It is seriously so vital. That is why the selenite wanted to come in. Please get yourself some selenite. If you have some selenite, pause this video right now. Go get it. Hold it while you watch the rest of this reading, because I have a feeling it's interesting. Some of the other piles had way more cards than you, but this I felt like was my most sensitive pile. Almost as if like, you're like, why is love eluding me? Why can't I, find the right person? Or like, why can't I, which I'm hearing, if you're drawn to other piles, your answers will be there. Because I asked Spirit, are we going to pull more cards, any clarifiers or, whatever. And they said, yeah, well, every pile, the card that's in front, that's the issue. And the rest of them are the clarifiers. And I was like, okay, so you guys pulled 2 cards. And the first one is Coffin. Rest in peace. Endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transition. So endings bring new beginnings. Yes, because when something ends, something new begins. And then we grow from that situation, right? Like that ending. Sometimes we need something to end, because if we don't part with some, like, say you're holding on, and I know this to be a fact in my own life. When you hold on too tightly to something that's over, that's why the coffin is a great representation. If you're holding on to something that is clearly over, you know it, they know it, but neither of you are like taking steps to end it. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship. This could be, maybe your kids are living at home and they're like, Mom, I really want to move out. And you're like, I'm not ready for you to move out. Or the flip side, where the parents are like, he's 25 years old. When is it going to move out? But it's like, but that the kid needs to know, right? That they're not a kid anymore. They're 25 years old and it's time for them to go out, because they don't realize what a whole new world will open up when they leave home. And there's no judgment of that. It's just like, I had a friend, I actually grew up with quite a few people that were very into their cultures. Like their families were very, very into their cultures, not necessarily religious, but like, the women lived at home until they got married. Their fathers were very adamant about that. I had a Greek friend who, actually I had 2 Greek friends that were very much like that. And I remember my big fat Greek wedding, I just laughed my ass off, because it's really like that. It's for some cultures, if you know this, you understand, right? So, and even with that, like maybe you got together a long time ago for the wrong reasons, because you were pregnant. Or I know my ex-husband and I, we got married because he was going to get deported. And we had been through so much together, and we had just gotten back together for a year and a half. We had been through so much. And I was like, oh my God, and now you're getting fucking deported. It was almost like, but instead of looking at that as like, it was time for him to go, like maybe he was meant to go back to Britain. I don't know. Who knows, but instead I married him because, we had 3 weeks, and I didn't even know if I wanted to be married or if I ever wanted to get married, but I didn't want to lose him. And, we ended up getting a divorce. I don't regret anything. I love every second of every minute we spent together. He was my best friend. Like I know it was all meant to be, right? But maybe in another universe or another dimension, he went home and he lived a life somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe he married a beautiful French girl and moved to Paris and became, a musician there. Who knows, But that's the thing that Spirit wants to show us, is that we have endless, endless possibilities, endless possibilities of which way we want to go. We are always going to end up at the same place, right? But our free will is how we get there. And it's about enjoying the journey and not looking so much to like, I thought we'd be together forever. Well, you start to realize like forever isn't, I'm 50 years old, and I turned around and looked back at 5 decades, and I'm like, holy shit, like that went by so fucking fast. And your parents tell you that, and the people older than you tell you that, but you don't realize how fast it really goes. And now more than ever that we're in the full like 5th dimensional, energy, things move really quickly. So we can't get too tied into anything or too, wrapped up in something being over. Or if you're in something, I just got from Spirit, for some of you, like you're in something, you feel trapped in something. Thank you, Spirit. They just gave me a little shout out. It was super sweet. But if you're in something right now and you're dreaming of this new beginning, you're dreaming of the growth, you're dreaming of the change, They're saying the only way to free yourself, that's what liberation is by transitioning out of that relationship. Whether it's love, you know, or it's all love, of course, but, you know, whether it's a love of your job, a love of family, friends, your significant other, whatever it is. It could even be a pet. You know, for some of you, I'm hearing like maybe you're really depressed because you lost, you know, a really good friend, I'm not even going to say a four-legged furry friend because it could have been a bird, it could have been, but I just heard that you lost a really close friend in the animal kingdom. And they're like, your significant other that felt like your significant other, it's not in a sexual way, but like maybe for some of you, you had like an animal that was like your companion, like forever. That's fucking real when they leave you, man. Like I have moments with my familiar, you know, we've been together almost 11 years and, or almost 10 years. And I just tell her how much I love her all the time because I don't know how old she is. I don't know. We rescued her, you know, and I feel blessed to have so much time with her. But I know for a fact that when she goes, she'd want me to get another familiar because that's part of me. I need some type of animal around me, near me, always, whether it's a cat or a dog. It's always, and sometimes I've had both. So, you know, it's time to go. And maybe for some of you, instead of, you know, it's okay to feel lonely. Spirit's saying you're not weak because but I'll be lonely. That's not being weak. That's saying, listen, it's a vulnerable time right now on the planet. I need some support. And they're saying, then you go and get that. You get that from your support animal, you know, get a support animal. And maybe it's time to move out of a place if you're like, oh, they don't let me have pets. You know, you can get a fish. I mean, I don't know any place that won't let you have a little fish. You know what I mean? I have a friend who loves snails and betta fish, and you know, she keeps them as long as they'll stay, and they're her friends and she names them and they have like backstories and shit, and like she's got Instagram, like at least she used to, I don't know anymore, but you know what I mean? It's like, that's fucking awesome. You know, this is your world, this is your love, and you could do whatever you want with it, okay? But it's time to transition out of where you were. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to tell you that as I was saying that, I was actually pulling this, but look at that. As I said time, I was pulling the other card, but this came out. So I'm going to take that as a sign, right? You need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal and progress. Yeah, you're impeding your progress by not letting go of these endings. And it all starts here with you. It's all the self-love, self-care. 2022 is all about self-love and self-care. We're going to be talking a lot more about that. We're going to be talking, it's interesting. I've had this deck for a while. By the way, this is rose quartz. And if you don't have any, I highly suggest you get some. And if you have some right now, grab that as well. This is, you know, a really powerful healing tool. It's actually, they call it the, what do they call it? The stone of love. So I'm going to move these back here kind of as our mascots because we know, you know, right? Like we know that they're there. Maybe I'll lean them forward so you can see them. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to bring these two out together because I saw soulmates, soul connection, partnership, agreement, and soul contract. So remember when I was just saying that I felt like it could be business too? You know, sometimes you got to shift. You guys, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know, like Lula's Labyrinth is now the magical medium. And that was really hard for me to let go because Lula's Labyrinth has been kind of like part of my identity for so long. But then I realized that it's not who I am, though. It's just a fucking name. It's just a title. It doesn't really mean anything. You hear what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really mean anything. Let's just talk about soulmates for a minute. So, yes, if you feel this connection with someone, it's because they're a soulmate. And soulmates come in all shapes and sizes. You can meet a frog. You know, some frog can be like, ribbit, 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 ribbit. And you're like, and you just have a moment with them. I say that because I had this really cool, I was going through my phone and I found this awesome video that I had taken of this frog. And we had this really cool connection. We hung out for a while. He let me videotape him. It was a really strong masculine energy coming from the frog. Some of you may have remembered it from my old channel, you know, but it's like we literally have soulmates from a random frog in the forest to a work colleague, to our parents, to, you know. If these people are in your life or these animals or these entities come into your life, they're soulmates. They were brought there for a reason. You know, it's like they helped you to grow, right? Their love for you helped you to grow. Sorry, I'm trying to look through there. See how these are like little hearts? I'm going to bring this a little closer so you see. Do you see the hearts in the soulmates? And when we have that kind of bond and that kind of connection, it's really hard to let go. But, you know, just because it's in your soul contract doesn't mean that you have to stay with them the whole entire time, right? Like, it's exactly, it's like time is a man-made construct. But at the same time, the universe moves at a rhythm. It moves at an energetic rhythm. It moves in an energetic rhythm. It's not necessarily time, but things are going to keep moving forward, right? They're not meant to go back. That's why when you see these movies and they talk about the time machines, like you don't want to go back in time because every time you shift something, you're shifting like the time continuum. You're fucking with the time continuum because people don't realize that, you know, even taking that video of that frog, maybe that frog was there for me for that 5 minutes because that was 5 minutes that I wasn't going to be on the road. And maybe there would have been an accident, you know? There are so much synchronicities and signs for us everywhere all the time. But instead of getting angry with them, it's time for us to look at it lovingly and say, okay, Spirit clearly wants me to back up right now. Spirit clearly wants me to stop what I'm doing, you know, and be resonant and like what is happening right now. So for you guys, you know, stop planning or trying to control it, or, you know, it's like, and also I'm hearing it's going to take time to heal because they're a soulmate. But once you do, you'll be making progress like you've never seen. And the moon moves in cycles. I'm being called, at least for now, to do pick-a-pile readings on the moon cycles every month. So if you're somebody who's been interested in moving and learning more about the moon cycles, please join us there when you see the pick-a-piles. I have some posted already. Actually, the New Year's pick-a-pile I just did was for the new moon. I just didn't have enough words to put in the title. But, you know, the moon cycles really make a difference. And I love that each month the moon gives us a new opportunity to utilize their energy. Also, I'm getting like this coffin doesn't want to be in the back. It's like I'm feeling that you're this, not all of you, some of you are excited to be liberated and you're like, I'm ready for change. Like, bring it on. Tell me what to do, you know, kind of thing. But Spirit saying, for those of you who are like, tell me what to do, they're like, you'll know what to do when the time is right. Just keep meditating on it, talking to Spirit, but you will know what to do when the time is right. So anyway, you guys, those are your messages, you know. We can be angry. They want to say one more thing. You can be angry about certain things. That's fine, right? Like you can, that's your right. That's your right to be angry. But they really want you to remember that it was an agreement. You agreed to have this situation with this person. It may not seem like it, right? You know, even if like, it's hard to think, I agreed to be raped. I agreed to be robbed. I agreed to, you know, have my baby die. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, those all happened to me. But I'm still standing 50 years later. I'm still here to talk about it, to lend some spiritual guidance and support, because I do understand. I'm with you. We're all in this together, right? Nobody's getting out of here alive. It's one of my favorite things ever because it's so fucking hilarious. Because it's true, right? Our soul will live on, but these beautiful biological meat suits will die. They will perish. So what are you going to do at that time that you're here? Until then, be well, my friends. All of my information is in the description below if you'd like to donate to me or the channel. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh. Welcome, pile number 2. You know, it's interesting because the first pile, we didn't really talk about their song, but I feel like it's going to mean something to them individually. But with yours, they want me to explain something to you. So I'm going to put the link below. I'm going to put links below for each song for people, just as I heard them. You can listen to any version you want. But for yours, it's called The Eternal Traveler. And I put my phone on shuffle, so they literally randomly played in order, you know, the 4 songs that are listed in the description box. But for yours, man, the second I wrote it down, I know the song well, by the way, but it was the title that got me. So yours more than anybody, because I feel like it ties in so beautifully with your cover card, which is the Axe. And it says breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment. And the first thing I got from your pile for the Eternal Traveler was that I just don't think, right now, I shouldn't say I don't think, because it's not really about me, but let me change my languaging. But what I'm feeling from your pile, pile number 2, is I'm feeling this really strong energy of that you are an eternal traveler, like a gypsy. Like it's either you or your person. And that's why you need to break up. It's either you, like you're trying to stay. We haven't gotten to your other cards yet, but what I'm getting right out the gate is that it's breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment. And I feel like these are all you. I feel like these are all you, and the way that, so this is in your relationship. Now, it feels very love, like romantic related, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Remember, this is a mass reading for a lot of people. So, you know, take the breadcrumbs. You know, if something pings in your gut, or you're like, oh yeah, or someone comes to your mind, then that's your medicine, right? That's your message. But it may not all have to do with you. Also, it could just be, maybe it's not time for you guys to break up, but maybe you just need a major separation so that you can both turn around and see the patterns that you've been in, you know? And if you have somebody who's given you the silent treatment, why would you, because I feel like they could have worded that differently, but this Island Time Wellness Love Oracle deck does not fucking play around, which I love. That's what I love so much about this deck. First time I saw it in a reading, I was like, what is this deck? I'm like, I need these cards. I actually sent them to a fellow lightworker, a fellow reader, because I was like, dude, you have to have these cards. They're amazing. But I feel like when they're saying the silent treatment, I feel like either you're doing this or someone's doing this to you. And all I can say in the most loving, beautiful way is it's extremely immature, because love is how we communicate. Love is what we are made of. That's what we come from. So if you are denying yourself or denying another person access to you through the quote unquote silent treatment, that's not a healthy way to approach it. It's different if you're like, hey, I need to take a separation from you right now, or I think we need to take a separation, you know, maybe not individualize it, especially if it's someone who takes things personally. You know, it's not that you want to walk on eggshells around them, but sometimes it's easier when you're trying to help someone. And I shouldn't even say that, right? Because it's their own path. But you hear what I'm saying. It's like we can go at somebody in a loving way, or we can go at somebody in a malicious way. And my mom always says you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So, you know, there's ways that you can still keep your, you know, your power without giving your power away to somebody. Would you see that? Oh, love it, love it, love it. I'm feeling a strong grandmother energy here, by the way. But there's a way that you can very maturely say, I think it would be healthy for us to take a little break for a while. I need to be able to kind of like just breathe on my own, see what's going on. Everything has been so topsy-turvy. It's been almost 2 years now that we've been dealing with the pandemic, and that kind of slipped out of my mouth. I hope they don't flag my video, because they flag videos for things like that, so hopefully they will not. So we'll send it positive energy. They will not. They've done it a few times. I fought it, and they posted it back, and I was like, listen, sometimes it's just part of what's happening on the planet right now. We have to use that. That's the word. That's the word that we're identifying with what's happening. I won't even use the word crisis, because it's not a crisis. So moving forward, you know, it's really changed. It's strengthened some bonds with people, and it has completely obliterated other relationships. I mean, you know, you've seen people, you're like, oh, wow, they broke up, or, you know, even celebrities, I've been like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, or, you know, because you think, oh, they just seem so great. Well, yeah, until people are really close together. It's easy to have a long distance relationship, but when you're living with someone day in and day out, whether it's romantic, family, friends, you know, even with jobs, you know, people were quarantined, but they didn't get to have that connection with people in person with their job. And it can be really frustrating dealing. I stopped doing the Zoom when it all happened, people were like, oh, I want to do Zoom readings. And it was really fun at first to do one-on-one Zoom readings with people. But then I was just like, no, because it just, they're just not focused. They don't mean to be, but it's like some of my friends, like their kids are coming in, like they're at home, like it's, you know, but when I was on the phone, it seemed like different, like they're a little more, like focused. But on Zoom, it's almost like the person's at your house, which is kind of cool in some ways, but in other ways it's like, whoa, we need to like, let's focus, let's center. So it must be really frustrating, you know, teaching the kids, learning, you know, through the computers, all of that. That's a lot of stress that can be put, that's added stress put on the relationship on top of, like, I saw something recently where this woman was talking about, you know, how we already had everyday stressors, like when's this bill due? When are my taxes due? When is this, oh, this car note or this, like all of these bills, and this has a password here and this, and you have to write it. It's just like, I mean, they've just been like oversaturating our brains to the point that we don't know whether to fucking scratch our watch or wind our butt, you know, as Dolly Parton would say. And that's, it leaves us in a very confused state. And that's a much easier way to control us if we're in a confused state. And so if your relationship is not doing well and you're going in the same pattern, it could be that one or both of you, you know, you're evolving faster spiritually than your significant other, or maybe you're in a house with your family, you know, you're younger and you're still living at home. And, you know, you're woke. You've been woke since you're a kid, but your parents, you know, maybe they had you later in life and they're kind of stuck in old ways, whatever it is. But if you see the pattern, you have to stop it, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And the world itself is changing around us, and we're seeing that. And the evolutionary process is happening no matter what. Things are being invented every day to better serve our planet, to take better care of us, right? Like we're seeing what's happening. So with that many changes, how are our relationships ever to survive if they're not on a really strong foundation? So in order for you to see your foundation, you need to step back, look at the patterns, look at the relationship as a whole. And even, you may even want to write it down. It's not about a pros and cons list. It's more like okay, this thing we're fighting about, and what triggers us when we fight this, or when we're together, you know, and again, could be any loving relationship. And breakups happen with friends and family and work all the time. You know, we realize like, this doesn't work for me anymore. And the last one here is abandonment. And I'm feeling like for some of you, maybe you were abandoned, or the person that you were with was abandoned. And so you've got this very unhealthy, tethered relationship that it's time to cut the cords on. And it doesn't have to be forever. Sometimes it's just, you know, temporary. But if you're trying to stay in relationships with people that, you know, you're just growing, man, you're woke as fuck, and you're like, I see the world for what it is. I see what's happening here. I see blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't, you know, that is your right. That's your free will to step away and say, I need to walk away from this. And it wasn't until maybe the 7th time I said the words, it's like we keep going in a pattern like Groundhog Day. I kept saying that with my husband. I kept saying that over and over. And then I started to realize, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm saying the same thing over and over. Even what I'm saying is a pattern. You know what I mean? And so I said, we need to dissect this. And we took the last, like fall was hard on us, man, but we dissected it. We got in there. It wasn't fun. It wasn't easy, but we got in there. By the way, when I looked down, it was 3344. That is your angel number. You look that up on your own. It's personal. So you just Google angel number 3344, and whichever one pops out to you, whichever one. It could be the very first one. It could be all of them. But there's some messages in there that will maybe guide you a little bit more on that topic, because we're going to move on. Okay, so what is our next card, Spirit? Do you want to go in order? Oh, okay. What are you saying? Hold on. I'm getting a... Interesting. Okay, so at the beginning when this card came out, I almost didn't want to put it there because I was like, you can't really see the word axe. And then the funny thing is, when I was setting it up, all I kept seeing was the word X. So before we go forward, I forgot about that. Spirit wanted me to convey for some of you, this has to do with an X. So maybe you're like, you know, still hanging around with them because, you know, it's still friendly, but the love, like the sex has gone out, that, you know, I've been there, right? When you start to realize that your relationship is just a friendship and nothing more, this is only for some people, but they're saying you have to stop talking to them. You have to stop talking to them because you both, it's not that you can't be friends or you can't, you know, and again, went through this myself, but sometimes we need to separate completely from people so that we can open up our field to bring in something else, someone new. And even if you're just friends with someone, I'm hearing from Spirit, yeah, but it's kind of like it's just holding you back. And I got the chills, and I heard that they're saying that you know this. You know this. It's a pattern. And you know what? It's interesting because I feel like, do you want me to grab another card? Okay, here we go. So this was actually out of the deck, but they wanted me to grab this one. Hold on. Okay, Hammer. Sabotage, rebuilding, integration, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. Yeah, they're saying you need to, isn't that interesting? You got an axe and a hammer. And may I just say as well, and not to sound dark, but I'm just going to go there. They're both weapons too. It's almost like weapons of mass destruction. Spirit just said, yeah, like whatever this relationship is or whoever this is for you guys, and this is getting back to the whole reading for all of you guys. Yeah, it's like, it's almost as if they're sabotaging you. They don't want you to rebuild. They see that you're rebuilding, but they're not rebuilding. And then that, like, I'm seeing interrogation, like maybe it's somebody like baby daddy, baby mama, you know, where it's like everything's good. And then they see you rebuilding, you're doing good. And then some interrogation comes in and it just becomes the same repetitive pattern, and then they're persistent. I'm hearing it's abusive. You know what? You need to let them know, say, you know what? I'm working on myself right now and I can't take care of you, because you are my ex. And you can say it in a loving, kind way, but that was like a really strong message from Spirit. The next one is Mask. Let's get the mask in there. Okay. Not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, and gaslighting. So I'm hearing for some of you, I feel like this person is telling you that, oh, I've changed so much, like, but they haven't changed. I know it sucks. And I know you want to believe it because maybe they're putting on this show for you, or like, maybe, like, I'm just going to give you a kind example, right? Because I saw some pretty dark ones. So I'm going to give you a kind one. I said, can I have a kinder one than that? I'm like, that's really dark. So it's like, let's say you went vegan. And you're like, I know this sounds crazy, but like, I just can't even have meat in the house anymore. I don't even know how we're going to be together, but like the smell makes me sick, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, I'll go vegan with you. I'll go vegan with you. And you're like, really? And they're like, yeah, I'll go vegan with you. I don't fucking care that much about it. And you're like, yeah, okay, let's go vegan together. Let's try it out. And they're like, with you and in the house, like they're totally eating vegan, but like they're so eating In-N-Out Burger and like eating stuff like away from you. They're saying if that doesn't bother you, then that's fine. But then like say to them, like, you know, whatever it is, that's just an example. But you would, you know, their example would be like, hey, if you just want to be vegan in the house, I totally respect that, man. If you feel like you still need to eat meat or do whatever, that's on you until you're ready to stop, you know, that's, you know, whatever. But just for me personally, that'd be cool if you can do that. But for some of you, I'm going to go a little dark. I'm not going to give an analogy, but I'm just going to tell you that for some of you, they're showing you one face because they're trying to literally, Spirit's using the word weasel their way back in. You know, I hate being the bearer of bad tidings, but they are trying to weasel their way back in. And they are very fucking savvy and very smart, like very, very clever, very intelligent. I felt a musician. I felt a scientist energy. Like I felt a lot of different things, but, so I don't know if any of that applies to you, but I just get this vibe that like they haven't changed, and it's just where they are and who they are, and it's their deal because they're really immature. I get the feeling that they're the one that fucks with you and gives you the silent treatment for some of you. But you know, we all age and progress and mature at our own, you know, at our own pace, but we are also working from our own levels of consciousness. So you can't wake up anybody any faster than they're ready to wake up. You can't. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. It's not our job to force and push and cajole somebody into doing it faster just so that we can stay with them. Because either you're meant to break up and, you know what I mean, so it can go that way, or, you know, you just have to break up for now. You have to separate for a while so that you can, you know, really gain some clarity. Sometimes people have been broken up for 20 years and then like they see, that's why a lot of times you see high school sweethearts, like they get back together after 20 years or whatever, because when they were younger, that love that they felt was real. That connection, that attraction was real. But over time, life happens, kids happens, you know, jobs, families, people die, you know what I mean? And everything that happens to us changes us. We cannot expect ourselves to stay the same. That's why it is miraculous that somebody stays together through 50 years and like kids and all that. It's like, wow, man, you guys really, you know, stuck it out. Like, that's amazing. However, if they're happy, it makes me sad when people are like, oh, we've been married 40 years, but they're miserable. And you can see they're miserable. And I'm like, so what are you doing? Are you waiting to win a prize? Like, are you trying to make it to 50 years just to say that? I mean, if that's your accomplishment in life, sure. But it's like, isn't happiness and love for self our greatest accomplishment here? Is to just be here and joyful and have fun and enjoy each other along the way. We're not here to torture each other. We are here to learn from each other, of course, but like not to torture one another. That's not what love is. Love isn't a torturous thing. Love can feel torturous and painful, which is why sometimes people just don't want to be with anyone at all. To be fair, if I'm being completely honest, that's why I didn't feel, I don't know if the term is worthy, but I didn't feel righteous enough, I guess, to talk about love and pick-up power readings when I was like, I don't even know what love is. I don't think I really even understood what love meant until the last few years. And a lot of that is loving myself, really loving myself. And it's taken me 50 fucking years to get here. So don't be hard on yourself. Some people never get there ever. I'm grateful that I got there at all. I'm grateful that I made it this far. So your next one is girl talk. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment and having fun. Yes, right? And it doesn't matter if you are a girl or resonate, whether or not you resonate with the feminine energy. This is just about girl talk, boy talk, whatever. This is about friends. This is about saying, you know what? Why be in this situation with someone, and maybe it's multiple people, but why be in that when you can have people that you can talk to, that you don't have to wear a mask or be somebody else, or the other person doesn't have to be somebody else to be around you. You know, look, it says yes on her shirt, right? So it's about community. It's about time with friends, you know, and it's easier to move on when we got a support system, right? So Spirit's saying you have this support system and your girls and your boys and your community and your group of friends, whatever it is, whatever terminology you want to, you know, call it, right? It's like we can still be adults and call each other girls, have girl time. We don't have to say lady time. You know, if that feels better to you, that's fine too. But, you know, it's just about that inner essence of like, you know, where you're like, hey, what's up? Hey, you know, what are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? Oh my God. So Bobby, like, he was pulling my hair. Do you think that means he likes me? You know, we all went through that. And just because we age doesn't mean we don't struggle with love anymore. Love is complicated and complex and beautiful and messy and wonderful. But we have to allow the love in. And when we're allowing someone to steal our power, when we're allowing narcissist or controlling behaviors to steal our identity or take that power away from us, it's like, how can we have fun? You can live happily single and live with other people. Like maybe you need to, you know, go live with, you know, I did that when I moved to the Pacific Northwest. I was 39. And I'd been through so much. I'd been married, lost a child. Like, I mean, I can go on and on with how many things that had happened to me. Lost the love of my life. That wasn't my husband. You know, he didn't die, but like just lost him to drugs and addiction and just so many things that had happened to me that when I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I moved to Portland, Oregon, and I was looking for a place to live. And I ended up I just was really drawn to this beautiful soul, this light. And she was 25. And I said to her, I'm like, is it weird that I'm 39? And she's like, no. And so I went over and met her, and it like, then her friend ended up moving up next door who had just turned 23. And the three of us became like the Three Musketeers. And for years we were each other's support system. We held each other up through every heartbreak, through it. You know, they're still my family. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't talked to them because I'm on a different path right now, but, you know, but it's like this kind of relationships that we build with each other, it's really helpful. I was coming out of a really depressing time in my life, and if I didn't have them, I don't know if I would have, you know, I don't know if I'd be talking to you right now. I mean, I was so suicidal, on the brink of like death before I made that move. Like, just there was so much darkness in my life. But you know what? Their giggles, their youthfulness, it just brought me back to life, you know, and we really helped each other. You know, they helped me to break patterns of whatever. I helped them to see things from a different perspective because I was older and had kind of seen things, you know, a little bit more clearly and up close, you know. So don't think, oh, I'm too old to live with roommates. I don't care if you're 60. I look all the time, you know, because I'm always looking to move myself. I know we'll move when it's time, but you know, I see things all the time for like a house of 60-something women. You know, we love wine and meditation, like really cute. You'd be surprised. You'd be really surprised. It's a different world right now. So allow yourself time to grow and, you know, and to move on. If you have the money to live alone, live alone. I highly recommend to live alone, just because I think if you've been in these relationships, it's probably better for you. The more alone time, the better. But don't forget to have fun. Just don't forget to have fun. Okay, they're asking me to do these two at the same time, so I'm going to turn them over with you at the same time. Oh, how cute. Cupid's arrow and talking. I love it. Okay, so Cupid's arrow says, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting, hesitation, talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, and hoovering. I'm not sure if they're saying hoovering like vacuuming, like a hoover, or if they're trying to say hovering. That's very, very interesting. So I'll let you take that for what it is. So, but I think that's interesting again, because here we are with the girl talk. Now let's just cover up this, you know, these violent tools, but also they're also practical, good tools. Without a hammer, we can't build things. Without an axe, we cannot cut down, you know, trees for fire, for wood, and to build things, right? So those are also healing tools. We can't always take things as a negative. Thank you, Spirit. They wanted me to say that because they said that's really important, and I agree. So, but I love this, right? We've got on one side girl talk, on the other side talking. And even through there, you know, I also just got interesting. Maybe it's going to be something like, I was watching this movie, this movie about David Bowie, and it was just this interesting thing. And they were talking of, I started researching more, and I love David Bowie, but I was curious to know more about that time period, and if, you know, because there were some things I'm like, I thought that happened before that. So long story short, I was reading it, and I loved what David Bowie said, and how he was curious, but he never really wanted to be identified. You know, he did the bisexual thing, was more for like other people, but he was like, no, I really always really wanted to be with women more than men. He's like, but yes, I enjoyed experimenting or whatever. So I'm getting from Spirit, like, you don't need to put a label on yourself. You don't need to say I'm bi, or bi this, bi that, you know what I mean? Or I'm gay, or I'm straight. And I'm not saying it in a disassociative way. I'm saying it in like a, you know what I mean? Like, you are who you are. People, if they need a label, absolutely, more power to people. I don't take that from anyone. But what I'm saying is Spirit saying, you know, it could be that maybe it's from talking to a friend of the same sex or the same gender, or maybe however it works out for you, you know, because it's so diverse now. I mean, I dated an individual who had a penis and breasts. So it's like, I mean, you know, the world is a very cool, interesting, different place now. So I'm just hearing like to keep your mind open. Just keep yourself open. You don't know who it's going to be or what's going to happen. Hold on one second. So I'm going to pause and come back a few times because this just came in, but my husband's bringing in groceries. So living in the moment. They're saying, yeah, like just live in the moment. Like maybe you're just like having fun and you're having some wine, or you're smoking some weed, or you're just like whatever you're doing and you're listening to music, or maybe you're tripping on acid or shrooms and like something just happens and somebody looks at you and you're like, I want to kiss you right now. They're like, then kiss them. Like, I feel like for some of you, maybe you've been in relationships for so long or been bound up in a situation or an energy for so long that you don't even recognize, like, or don't even realize that you do want to explore that area a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so he's just put him in there. Okay. You hear what I'm saying about that? So that's really, really, and look at that. It says right here, interested. I was going to say, that's really interesting. Interested, conversing more. Awaited message arrives. Text, call, email, and then I'm going to say hoovering. I don't know. That's hilarious. Or hovering. I'm not sure. It could be that somebody's hovering around you, or maybe it's, I'm feeling secret admirer vibes from this. Text, call, email. Like, they're like, hey, you can text me, you can call me, you can email. Can we go for a coffee? Can I see you sometime? Can we go for a walk? They're like, say yes. Hold on one second. Thank you for waiting. I know for you guys it was seconds, but for me it was many, many minutes. So they said we're going to leave that where it was because we are going to jump into your last card, which is the Phoenix. A new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and changed mind. So they're saying, you know, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I think it's interesting because it's like, see how they're like, yes, hello. And then it's like, oh, sorry, yes, hello, right? She's like, hello. They're saying, say yes to Cupid's arrow, you know, and talking, you know, obviously she's on the computer, she's on the phone, and then, but they're talking about this text. I mean, this, obviously these have messages for somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, that's too much, right? Like, that's gotta be, but I think what they're trying to say is that eventually, once you get away from those energies and those relationships that are super unhealthy for you and that haven't been working for you, that's, you know, when you're gonna finally feel like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Because right now, wherever you are, it's debilitating you. And, you know, I almost get the vibe too that you guys are, maybe you're even talking to somebody, or you've been talking to somebody through social media, but neither of you have brought it that far because you're with someone else. And, you know, I've been cheated on. I know how fucking shitty that feels. I always say to people, you know what, please break up with the other person first, you know, before you do that, because it's a really painful experience. But even when we're mentally having an affair, it's still an affair, you know? So, you know, keep it clean just for you, for your karma, for your consciousness kind of thing. But they're saying have faith because love is coming. It's coming towards you. It says a surprise invitation or meeting. And the hesitation is only because you're so used to things being the way they were before. But they're saying, but if you allow yourself to have this brand new energy with a brand new person, you don't even know, because you've been locked in this relationship, whoever this is with, you know, you've been locked in this relationship for so long that you haven't given yourself time to like really, you know, even see who you are, which is why they're saying, you know, the separation needs to happen, right? You need to take a break. So even if it's somebody that you do want to be with, it's like you still need to, you know, take that break so that you can be who you were brought here to be, because you're holding yourself back for other people. And Spirit says you can't do that anymore. So it's time for a new phase, and maybe rekindle an old relationship with yourself. Could be with another person, but also could be with yourself. Maybe you're somebody who used to, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and you're like, gosh, I was so much happier when I did that. Maybe you need to do it in a different way, you know. If you keep running into roadblocks, there's a reason for it, right? But the transformation will happen through the growth. And then your mind will be forever changed, and you'll look back on that, and you'll look back on everything and be like, wow, I'm so glad I took that chance on myself. And look at that. It's like the arrow's like, not this time, Axe, not this time, right? They're like kind of facing off, and Cupid's like, I'm here for love, man. Like, you guys are all about love. You don't want this kind of strife and, you know, it's like you want your heart to be pierced with love, not with agony and pain and suffering. You deserve better. All right, you guys, I love you so much. All of my information is in the description below. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Aho. Bye. Welcome, pile number 3. Your pile is quite perplexing because your theme was burning love. But then I look at this card and it says healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addiction. I mean, with this card, I would have thought it would have been more of the lines of Heartbreak Hotel if we were going to use Elvis, right? So I just think that's really interesting. And maybe Elvis means something for you guys too. It really did for me when I was listening to it, but in a different message. But anyway, so the healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. I'm feeling some interesting things going on right now. Some somberness. I literally heard the word somber. When I looked down, it was 5513. So if you are so inclined, if that connected with you, research angel number 5513, whichever one calls to you when you Google it. There are many, you know. It's different for everybody. You know what's interesting? Just a little FYI, this is just my own personal practice, but it was funny how I found myself searching sometimes. It's like the one would be right in front of me, but I'd be like, it can't be the first one. It's just too obvious. And I feel like my whole life I was going through this thing where if it was right in front of me, it was too obvious. And then I started to realize it's there for a reason. So maybe I'm meant to share that with you guys because, you know, maybe it's like this freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. It's like maybe you started to realize like what was obvious, what needed to happen. I'm hearing, just grab another card really quick because there's a lot of voices. Sorry, when you hear me start to taper off like that and I'm like kind of babbling and not making sense, it's as if because I'm like telling you guys something that I'm channeling and then other energies will come in and entities and they're like channeling as well. And I'm like trying to get all of the information and still talk to you at the same time. So I apologize. Wow, engagement ring. Okay, this is pretty heavy. What's going on here? Engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. So healing heart, burning love, healing from heartbreak. Okay, I need a minute because nothing is jumping at me like it normally would. Maybe it already did for you guys. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? Okay, so I saw nothing in front of the camera, but I saw it in the, because I'm looking through the lens, right? Like, so that was really powerful. I'm getting a grandma and grandpa coming through together right now. A very strong grandma and grandpa together. Okay, so I see what's happening. Okay, well that makes sense because I was like burning love because he's like, ooh, 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 I feel my temperature rising, right? And so it's like this song is about burning love. Like, yeah, I want you, I love you, I'm hot for you. You know, it's like, you know, he even says something in one part. He's like, the flames are now licking my body. Like, it's just a very erotic, especially for that time period, right? So I was kind of confused because when I saw the healing heart, I was like, healing from heartbreak. So this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to pull a few more cards. For some of you, it's probably like, you're like, oh my gosh, right now. But for me, it's not. So if you're wondering what deck this is, because I had it the other way, it's called the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. I know I love these cards, and they're actually really inexpensive. I highly recommend you get them. Okay, all right, so there's a lot. This is why, you know, I'm a medium. You know, I'm not a bullshitter. It's like I'm a human bullshit barometer, so I'm sure as fuck not going to bullshit you guys, right? So if you've been watching me for a long time, or maybe it's your first time here, you know, like, shit flows out of me, like whatever. So when it's kind of like peace like this, where I'm like trying to talk and they're like stopping me here, and then I'm trying to talk about this and they're stopping me there, and they're having me pull multiple cards, that means that we're building a story. So I am going to put these cards out. I feel like, let me see, is there one more? Yep, I knew it. I could feel it. Not enough. Okay, so hold on. They said you forgot date. Okay. Man, they are moving fast today. Okay. All right. So date, not enough. So the date says meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plan / set a date. And then not enough says frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear / ego issues, and jealousy. Fuck, what's going on here? Shit. Because I feel like they're trying to tell us a story. And let me see. Hold on. Okay. So pile number 3. This is the story of how they kind of gave it to me. Here, I'll go a little bit later. I don't like to touch my screen. It's too sensitive. And sometimes if I touch it in a certain way, I stop the video and I'm like, damn it. I don't have fancy software. Anyway, so I love how they are showing you the imagery of it. So date, meeting someone new, getting back out there, planning, setting a date, right? But it's not enough. You're frustrated. And you're frustrated from dating, from getting out there. And the more you start to look for a relationship, it's almost as if you're like, you lose lack of confidence, right? And you start to self-sabotage. You date the wrong people. You fuck the wrong people. You know that guy, I'm just using an example, right? But I'm just saying, like, you're like, wow, that dude's really hot. And you go on a few dates and there's sexual chemistry, but you're like, it's just not enough. You're like, because you're looking for this. You're looking for the long term. Sorry, I just didn't want to burn myself. I have to move my candle, right? So you're here and you're like, I want the whole thing. I want the real thing. I want the engagement, the partnership, the commitment, eternity, completion, union. You're like, if I can't have it all, then I don't want anything. You're like, I'd rather walk away pouting with my head down in the rain. Why even bother? And Spirit's saying, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're on the right track. You know why? Because this is going to keep happening. And this will continue to elude you until you heal your heart. And look at that. I mean, could it be more precious as she's sewing her broken heart? Spirit's saying the reason why you haven't found the love you're looking for is because you haven't healed from your broken hearts of the past. Also, I'm getting that there's somebody from your past who really did a ringer on you, man. Like, really made you feel bad about yourself. Like, or maybe it was that person who was like left-handed compliments. Are you going to wear that? Oh, why don't you wear that other dress instead? Like this controlling, like you're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And the heartbreak is really from the lack of self-love. I mean, self-care is the theme for 2022 because, at least from my guides, that has been like, there's been a lot of things that I've heard from other seers that I'm like, absolutely, that's a really good theme. I can't remember them now, but so is this one. Like, I definitely, like, it's been coming to me for months and it makes so much sense because you're going to keep getting these toxic assholes coming into your life because they are not even close to being woke, or they're getting there, but they're like so scared and they're working from their fear and ego. Which, because they're working from their fear and ego, then you start working from your fear and ego, right? And see how the light is like shining there? It's like Spirit's trying to talk to you. They're trying to show you how to get there, but you're using your umbrella and you're deflecting the light within you. It's like you're forgetting who you are and you're giving your power away. You keep giving your power away to these people. And it's not just... This definitely feels like, because of the engagement ring, I feel this pile 3 is definitely more of like a love, but in a romantic love. But if you chose this pile, that doesn't mean that significantly applies to you either. This could just be in terms of you to be here to get this message today, that to put your umbrella down. It's okay to walk in the rain sometimes, It's okay. We have to feel the heartbreak. Fucking heartbreak sucks. I watched something recently and the woman was like, heartbreak sucks. She's like, who wants to get their fucking heart broken? And with every time we get our heart broken, we learn something else and we gain more strength and power. But if we give our power away, then we don't heal and we get stuck in these patterns, these really, really unhealthy patterns. And when we get in these unhealthy patterns, right, like, it's like, okay, I'm going to get back out there. I'm going to try again. And Spirit's saying, okay, but what if you went back out there? Okay. What if you went back out there with a completely different mindset of how you looked at yourself, how you looked at the world? If you looked at the world with love, right? Because you're saying, it's here, you're saying, I'm not enough. Well, if you're frustrated in relationships and feeling lack of confidence, it's because you're self-sabotaging yourself by saying that you're not enough instead of saying, I love myself, I'm fucking awesome. The fear in the ego keeps you stuck in this constant pattern and jealousy and envy. Why can't I be like that person? Why can't I be like this person? They're like, who fucking cares? Why would you want to start dating someone new and getting back out there and making dates and everything when you don't even know who you are or what you want right now? That's not a healthy way to walk into a relationship, is it? Right? It's not a healthy way to walk into a relationship. And if you're not, what if you do, you meet someone who's really awesome, but you sabotage yourself or you fuck something up because you're like, I wasn't ready. And he's not the one. Or maybe it's a really nice guy, but he's not the right person for you. I'm just using guys as an analogy because there's representations of a person in a suit. That could be a man or a woman. This could be a man or a woman. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Just the imagery the person used, and I'm, just languaging. But, you have this. It's coming. But this part has to happen first. It has to happen first. This has to be the number one thing. And you know what that means? That means that no dating, don't worry about the ring. You can have your mind on the prize, right? Like if this is like a dream, you can put this up in your little dream bubble while you're, sewing and healing. You can keep dreaming about it. Sure, Spirit wants you to dream about it. You are a beautiful, loving being. They want you to, because the more you think of it in a beautiful, positive way, the more you're alone, the more you're healing and working on yourself, then everything else will start to fall into place. And that will not just be a bubble. It'll be your reality. Oh, look at this. Your next card. Heartbroken. Oh, I feel like I just channeled Moira from Schitt's Creek. Fucking love that show. She's like, look at her, right? Like, look at her with her little butterfly. Like the butterfly is trying to talk to her. And it says, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. Yes. This is what's happening. This is what's behind you. This is your inner child. So, heartbreak can come from so many things. Love and heartbreak. I feel like love, love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. Once you find her, build your world around her, right? It's like make someone happy. Make just someone happy. Then you will be happy too. I love that song. But that's exactly what it is. It's like, when we are in our childhood, we suffer so many heartbreaks, and not all parents talk about it. We're getting better. But I know when I grew up as a child in the 70s, it wasn't like that. It was like, get up. Don't be a weakling. Be strong, Oh, don't be you want to be treated like a man, but you act like a girl. I mean, I could go through all that fucking shit sticks inside. It takes bits and pieces of your soul. We need to go inwards in meditation, spend time alone, healing, going through that heartbreak from our childhood so that we can really, really hone in on what's holding us back, because it's usually fear that's holding us back from love. And love, it really is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. That's why we're here. Love wouldn't exist if it wouldn't drive us the way it does. We are all driven, most of us are driven by love. Those of us who are driven by greed and fear are usually, it's because of lack of love. Love is the answer. And it feels good to love ourselves and to love someone else, right? But we can't even be thinking about this. Look at this. There's a little bling right there. We can't even be thinking about that bling and that ring, right? We can't even be thinking about that bling. It's so funny. This wanted to come in and I didn't understand it, but now I do, right? Like, we can't think about the bling. The bling is nice and pretty, but it's just a thing. It's just a bling thing. It's just a bling. It's not even that. It's like, it's not really reality, right? Like these are fake stones. They look like diamonds. They look like, you know, whatever, but they're fake. They're not real. So we have to heal our heart. When we're heartbroken, we have to heal our heart. Beautiful artist friend of mine, Laura Barstow, made this. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to put it back here. So we're going to pull a few more cards. Let's see. What are there? Oh, did you see that? Oh, yeah. The ancestors are talking to you. So they want to talk more about this. So the deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning, these are all natural things. But it's almost as if you're trying to tell yourself that you're not allowing yourself. Whoever told you that you were weak or that there was something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. This is a direct message from Spirit. We love you, dear one. We love you. We love you. We love you. You are precious. You are special. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. You're not a freak or a weirdo or an outcast, unless you wear it proudly. I wear mine proudly. I let my freak flag fly because I realized that my heartbreak stemmed from the people closest to me. My friends and my family who repeatedly broke my heart over and over and over. And in turn, I broke theirs. And I was like, this is a really unhealthy pattern. And a lot of my deepest heartbreaks are from people we grew up together. We were raised together in the same hurt and the same heartbreak, the same loss, the same separation, the same grieving, the same mourning. But we all suffered it differently. And then there's comparison. And comparison is a killer. Why can't you be more like your sibling? Why can't you be, you know, more like this? Why are you like that? Why do you want to wear dresses? You're a boy. You know, it's like our hearts, when we are little, we are tender. Tender little beings. And our hearts get shattered. So my sweet pile 3, I feel you. I feel your beautiful little broken heart. But that butterfly is there to tell you, you know what? You get in there, you deal with that heartbreak, but you get out. And the same day that you're feeling low, do something good that makes you feel good. I don't care what it is. Dancing, drawing, do something creative. Go dancing, go roller skating. Go buy yourself a beautiful piece of cake. Honor yourself, treasure yourself. Gift yourself, you deserve it. They asked me to bring these two out together at the same time. One's in front, so I'm going to start there. Okay, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, and third-party interference. Okay, here we go. Heartbreak. I hear where this is going. Heartbreak. Okay. So, you know, it's really sucky when the people that are supposed to love us cheat on us, talk about us behind our backs. That third-party interference could be a lover, but it could also be a friend. You know, if you're in a group of people, I had something like this happen to me where I was in a large group of friends. Many times I've been in large groups of friends, but there were times where, like, my other friends would gang up on me, or like it was like this kind of, you know, my one friend and I would be fine, and then the other person didn't like that we were spending so much time together, so then they would, like, you know, throw in some wrench, right? They didn't even realize they were doing it, or maybe they did, you know. But it's like, because when we're hurt people hurt people. I'm also hearing from some of you that attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, like that's been your way, temptation, like that's been your way of dealing with your childhood heartbreak. Again, totally fucking get this one. I was like one night stand Annie. I mean, I was like, nope, I'm not going to get hurt anymore, but I don't need a man to complete me. If I want to fuck, I'm going to fuck. Men do it all the time. If men do it, why can't I do it? I went through that phase, you know, but I mean, I don't regret any of it. You know, it was part of my process. It was part of my journey. But at the same time, it's like, but what I did was I ended up just hurting myself more because it wasn't, I still felt empty at the end of the day. I was still drinking myself to death. I was still in this, you know, horrible, you know, from this lost child that was like, love me, love me, love me, accept me, accept me, accept me. And they're saying, no more. Don't keep giving it away for free. You deserve better. You deserve more. You deserve way more. And the next card is cassette. Outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Yes, I should have said this. Why did I say that, right? Outdated thinking. If you're living in a nervous, fear-based energy, then of course that is the energy that you're going to attract to you. So that could be the conditioning of the bad relationships that you're, continuing this repetitive pattern in, right? And you're replaying the events over and over in your head. Like maybe the night before you were drunk. And so now you're like, oh, great. I didn't feel like enough shit. Now I'm, hungover. This person's in my bed. And you're like, get the fuck out. Right? I've been there too. It's hard, man. Relationships can be really, really hard. So, I'm not saying this happened for you. I'm just giving examples. And, sometimes Spirit has me share my own examples to put things out there when people aren't ready to speak it up or say that themselves. That's okay. Maybe there's some form of my story that connects to yours, right? But this is how we heal from the heartbreak. This is how we free ourselves from toxic relationships and the addiction of doing things that are unhealthy for us, because those are the things that are holding us back from who we are. We still got this, the date and the not enough and the engagement ring still out here. So I'm going to pull a few more cards. The Grim Reaper. Wow. I don't even remember if I've ever even seen this card. Ooh, the relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. So that's a very specific message. If it resonated with you, if you were like, that's it, that's what I needed. If you were at the beginning of this reading going, I'll know, yes or no, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is your answer. The relationship is over. And you can beat that horse to death, but please leave it be because it's gone. Let it rest in peace, right? No second chances. Some people, you need to let them go. Especially like if this some seduction thing, like I think it's interesting that, they talked about the seduction and the outdated, right? And then the Grim Reaper. Let's put them in the order. Let's put heartbreak down here and the healing heart down here. And let's put this over here, right? Because the cassette player is outdated thinking. See, if we read them together like this, seduction would say attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Cassette's telling you, and what is a cassette? It's kind of outdated, right? We don't use cassettes anymore. We use CDs. We use the computer, blah, 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 right? So it's outdated thinking. It's conditioning. You're replaying events over in your head. You're doing the same thing, but you're doing the exact same thing and dating the same people and the same energy and expecting a different result. You're expecting this result. This is not going to happen if this keeps happening over and over and over, because you're replaying the events over in your head. And the Grim Reaper is saying that relationship, even if it's just the metaphorical relationship of that energy that you're putting out, right? Doesn't even necessarily have to be on a person, place, or thing. It's what we're talking about encompassing, right? They're saying that relationship is over. No second chances. It's time to grow and transform your life. Because what you're looking for is so much bigger and you deserve so much better. Look at this, the golden mirror. Look at that. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing. Because that's what you're going to attract. Because when we do not love ourselves and we do not think that we are enough, when we are having lack of confidence and are living in our fear and ego, jealousy and self-sabotage, we attract people who are narcissistic. What did I say, right? One-sided. They show up when they feel like it. Somehow it's always your fault. And so it's like, no, they're saying that has to go now. No more. You have to do that because it's time to grow and transform your life. You're stuck in the same thing. And the final message is not today. Not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call a person, boundaries, and still angry. Whew. Wow. That's like, I don't even know where to put this one right now. Let's just put this here. Let's put it over the narcissist, right? We're not going to deal with that anymore. We're not going to deal with that hurt. And you don't have to talk to them. You can do it in a polite, mature way. You don't ever even have to talk to them again. You know, if you're still angry or they're still angry, it's like if there's anger there at all, that's not a healthy relationship anyway. Whoever this person is, whether it's romantic or not, because I kind of feel like we're filtering out of that. And I don't know why, because I know that's clearly a telephone, but I keep seeing a sewing machine. And that's interesting because we've got this sewing here too. So if that resonates with any of you guys, sewing machine or healing, sewing, that's really, really interesting. Could be sewing your oats. I don't know. So, you know, this will happen, but you got to do the self-work first, you know. Why don't you marry yourself? My one friend's been coming up a lot in these readings, but I had a friend who married themselves. It was the most beautiful declaration of self-love ever. An engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. You know what? You get that self-love right, you get that all together, you will have everything that you've ever, ever, ever dreamed of. But it's time to love yourself and to forgive yourself and to move out of patterns and places and away from people that are taking this away from you. If this is what you want, if that elusive ring, if that means something to you, there's nothing wrong with it. It's your life. However you want to live it here. It's your avatar. This is your human experience. But don't base your life on another person. Base your life on your love for yourself. Everything else will fall into place, I promise you. Until next time, all of my information is below in the description box. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, pile number 4. Oh, did you see that? We've been getting a lot of fairies and energy and angels and just a lot of cool energies have been flowing through this reading today. So welcome. Also, I forgot to mention that this piece in here is vintage, so it could just be from that too. So who knows? There's a lot of really cool things happening. We've had grandmother energy in some of the other piles, grandparent energy. So pile number 4, you chose the camera. Reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and making memories. Oh, and your song is, you already know, but I want to make sure I'm saying it, part of your world. Part of your world. That's very interesting. So I'm going to pull some more cards because there's a few things coming through, but I want to make sure and get some clarifiers first before I do that. So they're not having me pull cards. They're just having me straight, like, just work. They're just having me, like, I'm just going full on mediumship right now. Okay, so reminiscing, keepsake, the camera, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. So the song, which the link will be below you, I don't know if you've listened to it first or if you're going to listen to it afterwards, but it is from The Little Mermaid. And she talks about being part of your world. Yes. And I feel like you guys, you really do not feel like you're from here, my sweet star seeds. I'm getting, you know, it's interesting. When my channel first started as Lula's Labyrinth, it was so many, I literally started my channel specifically for other light workers because I would read for people. I traveled all over and read for people at different places. And when I would do that, I would meet other light workers like myself. And so my shamans told me that I was the healer for the healers. So when I started my channel, it was literally there for just the light workers so that they felt like it was a place that they could come and, you know, whatever. But over time, I've realized that my channel is meant to do a lot of things. And there are people who are here and more people who will come and go, who are not specifically light workers, but they are here to help us. They feel like light workers. They feel like, you know, I call them more spirit warriors, right? Like, because they're not necessarily a light worker. They're here to, like, you know, march in protest as the warriors, right? And through speech, they're here to guide through music or, you know, whatever it is, you know, maybe they're just a really amazing surgeon. I wouldn't really call them a light worker, but they're a spirit warrior, you know, trying to save people's lives. And so anyway, with that being said, this specific pile, if you found yourself to pile number 4, you are definitely a starseed of some kind, and you're you reminisce and you get tied to the past because you've lived many lives, and not just on planet Earth, but you're just somebody who I would be, you know, again, whatever aligns with you. This is a mass reading, but I would venture to guess that quite a few of you are also spirit guides. I'm a spirit guide as well, which just means that, like, in this world in human form, you are human, but you're also, you know, and are fully aware that you are a spirit guide of some kind. I won't tell you who you are. I align with angels in the angel realm. That's where I believe I come from. But it doesn't make me any less of an Arcturian starseed or Lyrian, or, you know, I've worked with all the different star systems. And I feel like you guys are the same. You have a connection to the, by the way, this should stay on the same video, but if for any reason it breaks off, sometimes Spirit does that. And it means that it's like an extended reading. I'll put the link below. You know, if you're not, if you feel like you got your messages, then, you know, carry on. Well, you know, sometimes I get the feeling in my gut like that may happen. So there you go. Anyway, because the door opened and I heard my neighbor's door and their car door, and I felt like this door opened and Spirit like kind of like poked their head out to be like, to tell you that, to say that. If you watch any of my readings, that's why they do it. But yeah, you guys, some of you already know this about yourself, and some of you, you're not sure. And Spirit's here to confirm and tell you that absolutely, positively, without a doubt, you are a starseed, and you are a warrior as well. But it's just, you have a different path. And the reason why you're feeling this connection to keep going backwards is because right now, everybody on the planet, everything is coming for us. Our karma from all of our lifetimes, from the galaxies. Like, Earth is a training ground for us as spirits. There's a reason why Earth is so intrinsically unique, and why there's so many different energies and entities from all over the universe that are fighting to keep her in, you know, the 5D energy that she was always meant to be. But with free will, it was brought down to this 3D energy. And this is by the way, this is just my perception of it. This is just what my spirit guides show me and what I interpret from it. It's different for everybody. My word is not bond, or, you know what I mean? It's like, there's no judgment. Whatever you believe in is true for you, is true for you. There are many times over the last 5 decades of my life that I can tell you that I have, you know, for sure thought this and that about myself. And now I look back on it and I'm like, oh, interesting. That was really only X, Y, and Z. So who knows, in a week from now, I may, you know, be like, I believe this now. So we are meant to change and evolve and grow. And you are a being that can change and evolve and grow really quickly. But you tend to pull yourself back to the past, as if you could go back there and fix something. Or you're like, if I had, you know, if this had happened this way, if this had, it's also a form of control. Drink some water. I wanted to take that moment. Yeah, drink some water. I'm hearing throat chakra because my throat chakra is getting really, really tight right now. And I feel like some of you, it's getting tight because you want to cry, but you won't let yourself cry. And Spirit's like, you need to go there. You're not going to move forward on your path here and do the work that you were brought here to do if you keep continually living in this, you know, Groundhog Day energy. Now, this message isn't for everybody, but if you were drawn to some of the other piles, I highly recommend you go and watch them, because we spoke about this exactly in one of those piles, and that message may also resonate for you. But, you know, I found that I was really living in the past, and I wasn't allowing myself to make new memories from a really loving place, because I was still broken and angry and hurt from the past. And that's kind of what I'm getting from you guys. You know, it's like they're saying, learn from the past. Like, you want to learn from the past. You don't want to bring it, you know, with you in your everyday. You want to go there, you dig into it, you look at it through the lens, right? And sometimes, let's look at that up close, right? Sometimes the lens will change, right? And look at how many ways I can make that change. How in seconds, I just had you look at that card 3 completely different ways within seconds. That's how fast it's moving. And that's how fast I feel like you guys move too. I'm also getting, when I looked down, it was 1 hour, 28 minutes and 57 seconds. So if any of those numbers align with you, I don't know what they all are together, but they're not having me stop. So I'm going to leave that with you. But they're also saying it's your perception of it too, right? So if you're looking at something in the past through, like, let's just say, something really hurt you. Really, and see how it's kind of like dark in the background right here? It's like it's dark. Something really, really hurt you. So you're living, you've got a perception every time you hear a certain word, or every time certain conversations come up about a certain particular thing, you get triggered and you get triggered and you're triggered. And now it's almost like, I feel like for some of you, like you're kind of stuck in this darkness because you have this perception of what happened, but you have to remember that you have to look at when it happened, how old you were. Most of our trauma stems from our childhood. So, sometimes I'll look at an 8-year-old child and I'll have a memory of myself at 8 and I'm like, wow, like that was a pretty heavy thing to go through as an 8-year-old. Like, how was I looking through those eyes? But not only that, I was an old soul, knowing I was different, feeling I was different. And I feel like you guys are like that too, right? So maybe you had a perception of it that was maybe light and beautiful, but like, your parents or your siblings or somebody, it's a teacher or a doctor, anything, whatever it is, a preacher, all of a sudden put some other thing on it and you're like, oh, and then you had a different perception of it, but now you've been carrying that perception with you this whole time. And they're saying, no, it's time for you to kind of like look through with a different lens. Take these words, take that away. You can keep those memories, but now they want you to start looking at it through a different lens. So the next card is the Runner. Oh, I know this one. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, and listening to ego. Interesting. So we're going to put this right here. And I'm going to put this back here. Okay. So the Runner. Well, that makes sense too, right? Because if you're reminiscing, you're in a codependent relationship, maybe the relationship is over, right? So you're like, all I ever do is run. So, I'm going to stay in this relationship. It's not bad. I can stay here. It's okay. It's not horrible. They're like, well, yeah, but you're going back to like what it was in the beginning. It's like whenever things are bad, you go back to when it was good in your mind, but that's over. It's done. If it's bad right now, quote unquote bad, I don't really think of things as good and bad, but you hear what I'm saying? It's like when it's in a rough patch or in a rough spot, it's like, they're like, how are you looking at it? Right? Especially if you're in a codependent relationship. Say you got together with somebody when you were really, really young. And 20 years later, we talked about this in another pile too. It's like 20 years later, you're like, we are not the same people. We just don't align anymore. Well, you can keep trying to run back to the past, right? Like if we did it this way, you can keep trying to run back to the past, but it's not going to do anything because it's over. And for some of you, I feel like the fear of intimacy is why the relationship is where it is, because over time, something happened where a trust was broken. And so the intimacy was pulled away because the ego was telling you to judge that person or that situation on that one thing they did instead of the whole, because we are a whole as a, you know what I mean? We're not just, they're having me, I may just, hold on one second. Okay. So they had me kind of like reshuffle the ones that were out and they literally landed like that. And for some of you who are wondering, these are the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards, but that isn't just the reason. On the other, one of the other piles they did, somebody must have been interested. But anyway, they had me do this before, and I really like this because what they're trying to show you is, okay, so we've got separation, we're going to get to that, and then healthy choices, and then we've got the camera. In separation, it says sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of future. Okay, so let's just put that, well, they said to leave it like that, okay. And then the next one we have is, oh, camera went down. Healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and in life. Self-love, self-care, being happier. What did we say? 2022 is all about self-care, and self-care is, it's self-love and self-care go hand in hand. Like that's the whole point. We can't have one without the other, because if we're taking care of ourselves, it's because we know that we're worth it. We love ourselves. Ooh, I just lost my my camera. Hold on, look at that. It's okay. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna work through this. Hold on. Okay. I actually kind of like it. It kind of gives this kind of like moody ambiance. But so making healthy choices in love and life, self-love, self-care, being happier, that is the key for you. That's the key that's going to unlock all this for you. Because going backwards, this sadness, missing you, you know, I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. This sadness, missing you, let me get in there. It's like you're only sad, like it's one of those things where, you know, when we first stop talking to somebody, it always is going to hurt, right? I mean, of course it hurts. And a lot of times we don't stop talking to people because we don't love them anymore. It's just that we know that that's not healthy for them to be in our lives anymore. And so when we're unsure of our future, we yearn for the past. We think about that person. We're missing them. We're sad, right? But they're saying now it's time to turn this over. But the runner is saying that's a codependent relationship, running back. Right? Like you're running back. So it's like, here's a separation. And they're saying, for you, this is how it's been. Right? It's like, I almost feel like we want to moving on down, right? Moving on down the line. Right? So we're reminiscing. We've got keepsakes, looking at old pictures, you know, looking at the memories that we made together. And you're like, I don't know, maybe I should run back. And maybe the fear of intimacy is fear of intimacy with yourself, because you're so afraid of being alone. And Spirit's like, no, but look at how healthy and happy this individual is, right? Like they're by themselves, but they're making their own choices. They get to do what they want to do. Isn't it better to be happy than running towards something that doesn't serve you anymore? So instead of running towards the past, they want you to start, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you were here, you're running towards the reminiscing and the keepsake and then the sadness. And they're like, and then now they're like, okay, instead of running towards this stuff that's holding you back, what if you start running towards healthier choices, right? Because as you make these healthy choices, then you're going to also bring healthy people into your life. The next one is the sword and the rose. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. So in order for you to reclaim your power, you need to let go of this other stuff. Ooh, look at that. Why? Don't fight yourself. I'm like, I don't want you to fight yourself. Spirit's like, if you fight yourself, then how are you gonna be, like, basically the happiness that you're seeking, the love that you're seeking. Didn't you ever hear that old saying, whatever you're seeking is seeking you? And Spirit's saying, but this is what's seeking you. And only by reclaiming your truth and getting clarity about this separation, right? No matter who it is, or what it is, whatever you need to separate with. It could be addiction too. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be an addiction. But they're saying that, you know, it's like, look at that. You've got a rose over here in separation, and then you got a rose over here. And it's like, but now you're protected, right? And if in the tarot, you know, swords represent air signs. So this could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But it also could be, what'd you say, Spirit? Hold on. Yeah, it's also Michael. If you look at it as Archangel Michael, while you're going through this pain and suffering, call on Archangel Michael to protect you from this person, this situation, these people. Also call on Raphael for healing, to help heal you through this so you can make the healthy choices. But I think it's interesting that this sword, it's almost like it's like you can still be soft and loving, soft as a rose. But remember, a rose also has thorns, right? So you don't want to be prickly, but you definitely want to have your guard, you know, and just be like, hey, like, I'm protected right now. Like, I can't be in your energy field. I need to be in my own protective power and my force. I need to be in solidarity with myself, instead of aligning with other people who are not having your back. Ooh, mirror. Interesting. Okay, so mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds. Wait, hold on. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds and introspection. So yeah, it's time for you guys to go inward because, you know, we are all mirrors for each other. And some of us are bigger mirrors than others. And you guys are such powerful warriors. You're such powerful healers and light workers. And, you know, you're here to heal other people, but you can't heal other people. Well, you're not here to heal other people. You hear what I'm saying? You're here to help people heal themselves, guide them. But I'm saying, like, it's your healing force for yourself, which will inspire other people to heal themselves. Do you hear what I'm saying? So it's like you need to be the mirror for others like this, and not in the other energy, right? Because you were mirroring your person that you're in separation with, and then you guys weren't getting anywhere, right? You're not getting anywhere when you're in the same energy. We don't grow. It's like we can't heal where we hurt. We need to move on from that. It's a very, oh, my ears are ringing. Hold on, Spirit's saying something. Hold on. No, keep going. Okay. Okay, so the next one is love call. We're wrapping it up. They said, someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. So that's really lovely. If somebody calls and like wants to make up with you, if you feel like they really have changed, or and this could just be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a lover, it could be anything. But if someone's calling to express their love for you, if you want to accept that call or return that call or that text or whatever that is, email, they're saying that's fine if you feel like that's part of your journey. If not, let it go. Let it go. Okay? You don't always have to pick up the phone. But some people may surprise you. For some of you, the heart's coming out tells me that, like, some of you will be pleasantly surprised. You're going to be like, wow, they've totally changed. Because, you know, if you were friends or with somebody for a long time, or a family member you were really close to for a long time, but you guys just weren't vibing, it's because the whole planet's in flux right now. So, you know, once they get to where they need to be and you get to be where you need to be, most likely you probably end up, you know, hanging out again or talking to each other again, because it's inevitable. That friendship and that love is still there. It's just when we're going through our own personal shit, we can't really hold space for other people. The next one, ooh, it's backwards. Interesting. The chaser. Ooh, isn't that funny that we had a runner and a chaser? Oh, boy. The chaser. Oh, chaser in codependent relationships, fear of abandonment issue. Yeah, you guys got some serious, like, you know what they say? If you're afraid of something, that's because it's same thing. Whatever you're chasing, like we were just saying, is chasing you. It's the same thing. So it's like, if it's chasing you, don't be afraid of it. Right? So if you're chasing somebody else because you're being codependent, that's one thing, because you're like, oh, I don't want to be alone. But what if you were chasing freedom? Instead of making the chaser be a bad thing, what if you're like, look at her arms up, right? She's about to grab her sword and her rose. And, you know, it's almost like, to me, this looks like the young version of her, right? And maybe this is what you've always been doing, chasing all relationships, right? You've been looking for love in all the wrong places, right? But they're saying that's okay, because that's where you were and that's what was meant to happen, and everything it's good. But now they're just saying, just don't go backwards. Now that you recognize this pattern, now that you see this, you know, you can go backwards to like deal with, you know, childhood issues or things that are happening, but that doesn't mean that it's meant for you, you know. And this was from another pile, but it was just sticking out. I would put it back and they said to show you this. This is going to happen for you. It is going to happen for you. Whatever this love is that you're looking for, this brass ring, this, you know, it doesn't even have to be like an engagement ring. It could just be love of self, right? But whatever this is, what you are searching for is searching for you. And so Spirit's saying, you know, stick to the truth, stick to solidarity for self, protect your own honor, protect your power, and everything else will fall into place. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. And then this elusive brass ring, gold ring, so to speak, won't be so elusive anymore. The next one is sunglasses. We got two more. And it says watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. Yeah. So I'm going to put this in front of the sword and the rose right now because they're saying, isn't that the truth, right? You've been chasing, you're looking, watching, stalking, you're gaslighting other people. It's like you're so like, you're not sure which way you're going. And they're like, okay, but it's all going to fall into place when you get grounded. Because we only gaslight, and focusing out just means like that, right? Like you can't really read it. But they want you to get grounded and laser focused, right? Oh, look at that. Because right now you're in the dark, but they want you to get really, 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 really focused. Do you see it now, right? Stop looking at what other people are doing. Who fucking cares? Who cares? This is what you're looking for. We're just going to bring this over here because it doesn't even matter, right? It's like right now, it's like this is what you need to be looking at right now. Is going towards this right here. And your last card is lightning. Ooh, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. Yeah, you guys are, you know, that's the thing. I almost feel like you just needed someone to give you permission to be who you are. Because you actually like making better choices. You actually like, you know, eating better or taking better care of yourself, or when you get more sleep or whatever. Like, I'm getting this vibe that you guys actually really are like that. But for some reason, over time, it's like, you know, you've kind of become complacent. And you still have this big bushel of stuff. You are in abundance. For some of you, I'm getting that you're like, why is this happening? They're like, no, things are happening for you. Everything has to break down for it to break through. It's just the way that it works, right? We always have to hit rock bottom. These analogies, these little, you know, soliloquies or whatever they call them. It's like all of these things of life, they're there for a reason. Metaphors to tell us and to show us, right? It's like everything that you're going through is part of your process. And you're going to have that lightning bolt moment, that really true lightning bolt moment. It's going to hit you and you're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe you will get shocking news. Maybe you'll hear of a death, or something will happen, or you'll find out somebody cheated on you or something, you know what? And you're going to be like, you know what? That's exactly what I needed. Thank you very much. So they're saying hold tight. Plus, whenever you watch this, it's timeless, but in real time. Today is January 5th, 2022. I mean, we just started a new year. Let's give ourselves a break, shall we? You know, and anytime, you know, we have a lot of these things that are put on us, you know, from humans that are like, oh, it should be this time constraint. And it's like, no, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Just allow things to unfold. Allow the surprises and the epiphanies to come in such beautiful moments, right? In those moments where you hear a song, even though you've heard it 100 times, and you hear it for the first time, and you start crying and you have that breakthrough and you're like, holy shit. And then the upheaval happens and the transformation begins. You're so close. Just hang in there, beautiful pile 4. Spirit's got your back, and so do I. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year. I haven't said that to anybody else, but I felt the need to say that to you. You are not alone. I love you. Spirit loves you just the way you are. Be who you are. It's time to truly be who you are. Until then, all of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Aho.